Hello viewers, I'm your host Josh24214, and today we are going to be talking about the new era that we're in for 2025 with the set name release schedule. And yeah, a lot of news had occurred, and Foundation spoilers are still coming in. Is with some very surprising cards that are going to be added to Arena. So can't wait to build decks around them. And yeah, I kind of made a thumbnail for Foundations when it does come out. So yeah, we got basically a roadmap for 2025. And today we're going to be talking about them and what my opinion are on the topic. So yeah, these will be divided into chapters. So let's get started with going through all the Magic-based sets that are planned for this year, for 2025. So let's jump right into that.
Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode.
Okay, so to get started, we already know that Foundations is basically the first part of what's of the first set before we go into holidays. So let's just jump into the next set that is coming up with Aetherdrift. Aetherdrift, basically the Death Race set that I'm pretty much excited about. And with some of the text that we got, so we got for the text, take more than just a joyride with the first standard legal set of the year, Aetherdrift. Rev up your engines when the Gunnifer Grand Prix kicks off at your local game store pre-release on February 7th, 2015, with the full set releasing on February 24th, on the 14th, basically Valentine's Day. Nothing like a good old-fashioned death race to be with your loved ones. And yeah, this is a... so basically with the story from what we can tell, from what we've seen, we got Chandra entering the race to acquire the trophy called the Ether Spark, which is probably from what we saw on the card, that it's basically going to make a normal person a planeswalker, an artificial planeswalker. So, and she is doing this to try and get Nissa her spark back. I call it noble, very noble, of trying to do something to get your girlfriend back to being a planeswalker again. And yeah, from what we got even small little card previews like Diriti, another D-Spark Planeswalker, Diriti, Rocketeer Engineer, 4 generic, 1 red, legendary creature, Goblin Artificer. Diriti's power is equal to the greatness and mana value among artifacts you control. Whenever Diriti enters or attacks, choose target artifact creature in your graveyard. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return that chosen card to the battlefield. And yeah, that is going to get crazy if you can get like a very big creature in the graveyard and you can play it as soon as turn 5. That's completely nuts. So yeah, if you want to go for a artifact deck, yeah, I probably would include him with some really big booms of artifact creatures. And we have the Earth Rumbler, 4 generic, 1 green. Vehicles, yeah, vehicles are a big thing for the set. And Vigilance, Trample. Oh, and the power for Diriti is Star, and Toughness is 5. And Earth Rumbler is a 7/6. Exile an artifact or a creature card from your graveyard. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So circumvents the crew cost. And we have probably a 10 two-pair colors of Gearhulks from all the way from Kaladesh. So yeah, we basically know that the 3 planes are And yeah, we're getting two color pairs of the 10 guilds. And basically we have 10 two-color racers competing for the Aetherspark trophy. Which is strangely looks like the Matrix of Leadership from the Transformers. And yeah, I even made a joke about it. And at least some people actually found it funny. And more text saying, follow Chandra Namar as she races through the Omen Pass and across 3 planes of the multiverse, chasing victory for an incredible prize. Hang on tight through its release on February 14th because it's only a death race if you die. Yeah. And and let me just say, I'm a little excited for this set. It's like below the next one. The Aetherdrift sounds like a good set. And we're probably going to get the other half of the Verge lands being added into this set. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, or is in the next set that's coming up after. So we'll get into that in a minute. And that one's probably going to be the hot ticket, big surprise of everybody liking from the Magic story sets. And I just want to say I'm a little excited for this set because this brings me a little bit of my childhood back. And let me tell you about my childhood. It's like, so back during the 90s when I was born on 91, by the way. And we had a thing called VGS tapes. Now, if you never heard of these tapes, it was before DVDs was ever invented. And there was 2 particular cartoons I watched as a kid. And I know it's a little embarrassing to talk about it. I used to watch Wacky Races and Dick Dastardly and his Flying Machines as a little kid. So, yeah. This brings me a little bit of my childhood. I would love to see, like, a reference to Wacky Races in Aetherdrift. And yes, I heard that they did do a Wacky Races show in, like, maybe 2010. And they did a pilot for a revival, but it didn't catch on. I have not seen both of them. And I don't know if it actually sucks ass. But I would totally love to see Magic do a card reference to Wacky Races, or maybe a universe beyond of Wacky Races, replacing the 10 color pairs, the 10 two-color pairs with each of the drivers from the Wacky Races show. So, yeah. And maybe including a Dick Dastardly card in those sets, too. I don't care if it's like a secret lair or something. I'd be happy that it exists. So, yeah, that's a little bit of my childhood to talk about. So, let's dive into the next set. The next set of 2025. Okay, for our next set, we have Tarkir Dragonstorm. That is coming out in April 11th, 2025. So we have the return. So we're going back to Tarkir. And everybody who ever loved Tarkir, including, they're going to combine the 2 things what we loved about Tarkir, about the original trip to Tarkir. And that was we also did get one of the sets for Arena from Carnes of Tarkir that had the 5 original the 5 fetch lands that were added. And that was very nice of them to bring them onto Arena. And let's read the text saying, dragons take flight across skies of Tarkir, each flap on their wings, ripping through the Omen Paths, drawing one of the 5 resurgent clans of Tarkir as they strike back against the threat to the multiverse. Familiar faces like Sarkhan, Vol, and Ugin have returned, their presence ripping across the set. We're excited to share more from Tarkir Dragonstorm with you when the set arrives on April 11th, 2025. So, yeah, we're going to be basically getting the mix of the Karns and the Dragons from what we saw from the... We don't get any preview cards. We only get art cards. And yeah, for the Planeswalker, for the one Planeswalker per set, we're obviously getting Ugin. And we have Sarkhan, who has lost his spark, and we knew about that since Aftermath. So that's pretty exciting to see how they're going to do Tarkir with the Karns and the Dragons. And we have been seeing the Dragons popping up ever since from Bloomborough, with one of the Dragons appearing in that set. And maybe an allusion to another dragon from Tarkir from Duskmourn. So, yeah. And we probably might see another dragon appear in Aetherdrift, maybe. So this is going to be the end of the Dragonstorm saga, of the Dragonstorm arc. The cultivation of the Dragonstorm storyline. So that's going to be a bit exciting. And with that, let's jump in. And yeah, I do dig the art, and I hope we get some really good cards from Dragonstorm. So next, we're going to jump to our third and final Magic-based set. I'll explain that once we get to that little crossroad. So let's jump right over. Okay, for our third and final Magic-based set, we are going Cross the Stars with Edge of Eternities. That is going to be on August the 1st, 2025. So yeah, we're getting a full-blown space opera fantasy set with Edge of Eternities. Magic ventures into science fantasy with Edge of Eternities, exploring what lies beyond the known multiverse. Harness the ancient advanced technology of the Sulfura system as forces vie for cosmic power. Discover what lies at the heart of this turbulent galaxy when the set release next year. And basically, we're going far close to the edge of the multiverse. The closest we can get from the multiverse. And from the card art alone, I'm pretty much happy to see Tezzeret in his new dark steel body, and he looks kind of badass in it. And yeah. And yes, Tezzeret is basically my favorite Planeswalker, and it's always a treat to see him. And we're finally actually going to get an answer if Tezzeret has lost his spark or not. Or maybe he... And I'm kind of glad that Tezzeret is officially stepping into being a big bad, because he kind of deserves being in the big bad seat of a full-blown set, story-wise. That, yeah, Tezzeret has been always a henchman for Nicobolas and the Praetors of New Phyrexia. And yeah, with his new dark steel body that he got from New Phyrexia, the last 2 years did him good, giving him a much tougher body. So we might see on his card text that he might be indestructible. So that's going to be interesting. So I doubt that he's probably, if they're going to add indestructible, so he's probably no longer a Planeswalker. But I'd be super happy if they don't do like a just make Tezzeret blue. I'd be super happy if they make Tezzeret a red, black, blue legendary creature, because I would like to make a commander, like a deck around Tezzeret. If we're going down that Tezzeret is desparked. And yeah, we know that he has the planar bridge, so basically he can make any artifact go through the multiverse with no problems. So yeah, can't wait for Tezzeret to show up in August and see how badass he is. So very glad to see him finally being the villain that I always thought he should be. So, and the art is really damn good. So we'll just have to wait and see until August. So yeah, and yeah, like I said, yeah, we're only getting 3 Magic based sets, and we thought we were going to get one more with the return trip to Lorwyn, but we're not. Lorwyn's been officially moved to 2026. That's the next set after. I'm a little upset. Yeah, because we're getting 3 full-blown Universe Beyond sets that are standard. And yeah, Universe Beyond starting with the one that's getting started with Final Fantasy, yeah, they're going to be full standard. And at first, I'm going to say this, but we'll get into when we start talking about the Universe Beyond sets. And I might have a prediction for the 3rd one. Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. And yes, if I sound a bit different, I'm recovering from having a cold, so you might hear me sniff in a bit, but I'm just a little bit sick. So I'm doing this recording as best as I can with the condition I'm in. So with that, we have our 3 main standard Magic-based set. And yeah, this is going to start the big finale on the storyline. Starting Edge of Eternities is the beginning of a new storyline. That's going to culminate with everything of the entire Path saga. So, can't wait for that. And yeah, let us go into what's coming up for the Universe Beyond sets. So, let's dive right into that as well. Alright, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. So, for standard sets, yes, we're going to get 3 Universe Beyond sets that are going to be standard. So, that is a bit of a surprise, and we're going to get 3 of them. So, first off, we have the everybody loves this series, and we're getting Final Fantasy. And we even got a video link of the early reveal. And we got Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy represents a universe rich with iconic elements that are a natural fit for Magic gameplay. Yeah, that's true. You'll see your favorite characters like Cloud, Tifa, Lightning, Noxus, alongside summons, monsters, and rivals from across the Final Fantasy series. From the iconic Chocobo to the terrifying Behemoth. These cards are going to bring the Final Fantasy universe into your hands. Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy releases on June 13th, 2025. And yeah, we did see a few card art. We did see Lightning. We did see Sephiroth, if this is Sephiroth's card. And yeah, he's basically doing a down B, if you know, with the sword plunge. And I hope, and no, I'm not going to talk about that. And we got other like little sneak previews, and yeah, just had to go through. And yeah, we're also getting Pioneer Masters for December, so I'm pretty happy about that. So Pioneers are going to be happy. Hopefully we get some good commanders. We got Kefka's card art when he is poisoning a river to a village, to a castle. The only Final Fantasy set I ever played was Final Fantasy X. I do know about some of the other games, like Final Fantasy VI, with Kefka and that infamous laugh of his. And my biggest question throughout this whole thing, big want, I want Auron to be in the set. I'll be super happy if Magic the Gathering brings in Auron from Final Fantasy X into the set. I don't care if he's a commander. I can totally see him be a commander card, a face commander. I'll be super happy. Just make him as close to badass as possible with Auron. Basically, one of my favorites from 10. So I'm pretty much excited about that. So yeah, can't wait for Final Fantasy to come out. And yeah, we just have to wait until June 13th. So that's going to be a while. So let's dive into the second one of Universe Beyond. And also, Magic, can you at least acknowledge the line, "You spoony bard," from Final Fantasy IV? And I would totally love to play that card and just say, "You spoony bard!" And yeah, we have a lovable meme. So can't wait for that to happen. So please make it happen. Magic, please. Okay, for our second Universe Beyond, we got only like a little smidge of the text saying, we announced earlier this month, or last week, that our collaboration with Marvel begins with the Marvel Super Drop, a series of secret layer drops that showcase 5 iconic superheroes from the Marvel Universe, available soon from Marvel Super Drop. Then our team up continues in late 2025 with Magic the Gathering's Marvel's Spider-Man. And yeah, Spider-Man is super iconic. And yeah, I was super happy that Spider-Man is going to be having basically a full set. So, question is, are we going to dive... And we got a little snippet saying, Magic the Gathering, Marvel's Spider-Man, sling cards from across the Spider-Verse into your favorite decks. So we're going to have stuff from the Spider-Verse. So yeah, if you love the Spider-Verse movies, you're going to be super happy. Question is, are we going to get like super iconic Spider-Man TV shows going to be added into the set, like Spectacular Spider-Man? And the 97 or oh god 97, the 90s version of Spider-Man. That was Spider-Man. The 90s Spider-Man was my first ever show that does Spider-Man. So yeah, and they even did Secret Wars, and it was really good. Their take on Secret Wars with a Spider-Man twist. So yeah, really good. I'm not sure if it's going to beat the MCU's version of Secret Wars. We'll just have to wait and see how good they do it and set up Secret Wars. And yeah, I'm a little upset that some of the cards that were added into the secret layers, like Captain America, the one I did last week, and Tony Stark, Iron Man, and Storm of the X-Men. Storm. And she's kind of badass in it. So, yeah. And with that, we dive into our third and final set. We don't know what it is. We only get that it is an unknown Universe Beyond set. We don't know when this is going to happen, but it's going to be probably at the end of 2025. And then after that, it's going to be Lorwyn, our return trip to Lorwyn. So if I have to make a guess for the third and final Universe Beyond set for Standard, I know it's pretty odd, but I will explain. I do have a theory on what it is. I guess, and I bet my... Okay, 3, 2, 1, and my best guess, I have to think, in my opinion, that it would make logical sense for Star Trek to be the Universe Beyond for the third and final Universe Beyond set. And, I mean, we do get Edge of Eternity. Maybe it's just to give the idea to set up Star Trek. And the reason why, I heard a rumor on Reddit that there was a test cards for Star Trek from the original show with William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Spock. So yeah, we could have basically... and there's like a lot of episodes that you can turn into cards. Like, I have to imagine that if I'm right, and we're only getting original Star Trek, I'm thinking we're going to get for the eras that they're going to choose. I have to say original Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Voyager is going to be part of all 3 sets in this set of Star Trek. And if we have to go with Commander decks, I'm thinking original, The Next Generation, and Voyager, and the 4th one being the villains of Star Trek. So, yeah, I know it's just a huge educated guess. And if I'm right, I am right. I'd be super happy if I were right when they announced this. And what's your opinion on what it is? I'm pretty much sure they're going to do something that for their big main sets. They're not going to do something silly, pick like SpongeBob or whatever, and it wouldn't make sense. It has to make sense with Magic the Gathering, and we can have like crazy fantasy series as Universe Beyond. So like any good anime, like could be another possibility. But I'm thinking, if I'm a betting man, I'm thinking Star Trek with that test card rumor. So either they're going to do that for the third Universe Beyond set, or maybe a Universe Beyond on Edge of Eternities. So that's my big guess. And with that, we have arrived at the end of the video. And yeah, I'm probably going to keep this up there. Saying, this has been your humble host, Josh24214. And next time, I'm going to take a bit of a break to get better. And when it comes around to the next month. And yeah, we might get Foundations, not next week, but the following week, on the 12th? November the 12th? Maybe? I could get a Commander deck, a Historic Brawl deck, with, I'm thinking 4 Foundation Historic Brawl decks. And let's see how my mind can spin with Foundation cards. So until then, this has been your humble host, Josh24214. And I will see you again on Foundation Historic Brawl. And some of these cards are going to be good in Arena, from what I've seen so far. So until then, I'm your humble host, and I'll see you next time. So, bye for now.